Hey.
Hello. Hey, what's good?
What is good? I don't know. I guess it's December, so this year is almost over. So I guess that's good.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, 2016's been kind of
Yeah.
fucked.
Well, I,
Like,
I would definitely say
in
it's the worst year
general.
of my life, and I know a lot of bad shit happened, and like I know a lot of people have had like kind of a rough year. So
Yeah, I don't know what it's been about it. Like, 2016 just had like this really bizarre and like just fucked up like
yeah,
energy around it since the beginning. I don't know. The world's just like changed in a lot of like really weird ways, and it's like harsh and
yeah,
uncomfortable.
and it feels like there's a lot of uncertainty with like I don't know with a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like the few like 2017 is like not looking
Yeah,
promising.
like I hope it's good, but also like I don't know.
See, like this is why people like you and me love to cry.
It's a really good release that I need sometimes, and sometimes I just can't do it.
To be real, like yeah, I feel that to such a degree. It's like the best thing in the world, and it's like the only time that I can like make my mind go like completely blank and like just be in like that sort of like nirvana. But like getting there sometimes is
Yeah,
like impossible, and it just fucking it's so frustrating.
like sometimes I don't know, like I start kind of tearing up a little bit, but like I'm not able to like release. It's like it's not like enough or like I don't know. It just feels frustrating.
Y-
It's like I'm still wound up in the end and I can't just like let loose and just like let out everything and just like feel like I don't know. It feels really good if I can actually do that. It feels like bliss. It's like
Yeah,
pleasurable.
yeah,
It's like blissful to like let it all out.
absolutely. It's like when that like sort of lump in your throat like rises up and you're like, okay, here it comes, and then it just like goes back down. It's like, oof,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It's weird too. It's like oh wait, fuck, what was I gonna say? Fuck.
I'm sure it'll come back.
Oh yeah, well sometimes I kind of start crying and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm crying. I'm happy now." And then I stop crying because I'm happy. It's really stupid.
Yeah, it's like you don't really let the cry like come
Yeah,
to
it's like I don't
maturity.
know. It's
Like
like I'm looking forward to it and like it distracts me and like I don't know, it's stupid.
yeah, yeah. You like kind of lose focus. It sucks when you need to like focus to cry. I I found that like at the very least like it was a lot easier to start crying once I like started
Yeah,
estrogen.
that's been true for me as well.
Like when like before I started like transitioning medically or whatever, I would cry maybe twice a year, and when I would do it, I would just feel like guilty and bad and like shitty. And now I cry like maybe a solid like once every week or two, and I'm just like, well, no, that's not true. I cry more often than that. But like I don't know, it just feels good as hell now. Like I don't know why it was so shitty before.
Yeah, like I think I'd cry maybe once a year before, and now it's like probably about once every 1 or 2 weeks, like you said. But
Yeah, it's good shit. I don't know. Like, I feel like it was because, like, when I was growing up, like, my quote unquote, like, male role models or whatever were always, like, kind of like doing, like, the macho thing and being like, like, fucking boys don't cry or whatever. And I feel like that, like, made me ashamed of, like,
oh,
having
did you ever see that
feelings and
movie by the
shit.
way? Boys Don't Cry.
No, I didn't
It's
know that was a
yeah,
movie,
it's you
actually.
should look it up actually.
Is it literally, like, about that?
Um, it's about Boys Don't Cry. It's a 1999 American romantic drama film. Film is a dramatization of the real life story of Brandon Tina, an American trans man played in the film by Hilary Swank. Yeah,
Oh, no shit. Wow.
it's kind of like a this brutal movie, but it's a bit older
I
now.
mean,
But like
like,
I I really liked it when I first saw it a couple of years ago.
I feel like every movie that like involves like a trans character in like a lead role, it has to be like either like super fucking
Yeah,
tragic
that's kind of what this is.
or
It's
it's
really
like
tragic.
yeah, yeah, which is like I don't mind that 'cause that's pretty
Yeah.
real. Like being trans kind of sucks, but
Yeah, it doesn't have
yeah,
to be like that,
no,
but
like
because I think
I would
it's from
definitely
'99, so like it was really tragic and brutal. But it got
yeah,
me though. Like
true, true.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I would definitely consider checking that out. I haven't like it's hard to find like good movies with like I don't know trans characters in them. Like I can remember growing up like the first time I was ever exposed to like the idea of a trans person was like through fucking Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Yeah,
wherein the fucking climax of the movie is Jim Carrey exposes a trans woman's bulge on live television and like outs her to like the entire United States, and like then everyone celebrates Jim Carrey for doing that. And that was like my first impression of
So
like what was
bad.
up with trans people.
Fuck.
It's fucked.
And also, like, for me,
From every
well, I don't
angle.
know, this doesn't really count maybe, but like, I don't know, it's like watching like Austin Powers and shit. You know, it's like not exactly good. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
It's like the
it's always
punchline of the
either
joke or
like
something. It's not like, I don't know. It's like yeah.
yeah.
It's bad.
There's like three ways that like trans people can be in movies. It's like as like the punchline to a joke, as like being depicted as like a predatory sort of character, like a creep or a weirdo,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Silence of the Lambs kind of shit, and or like they're the main character and it's like a very very tragic film, which is like as much of a bummer as it is, that's like the most preferable.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll change in time.
Hopefully, yeah. I feel like maybe in I don't know, give it like another half a decade or something, and like trans people will be where like cis gays are at right now, where they're like just starting to enter like that brink of like mainstream
Yeah.
acceptance.
Things move fast though, maybe. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know. Hopefully something good, but either way, like I don't know. I've got my knife and pepper spray in
Oh,
case
I
it
have like
doesn't.
nothing
So
like
it's all
that.
good.
Like I'm just like totally vulnerable all the time.
You should like definitely consider hooking yourself up.
Yeah, it's just like in the outcome that I'd have to use such a thing, that just fucking sucks, period. But I guess
Well, yeah, for sure. I don't know, just like I don't ever want to like have to use these things, but just like knowing that they are on me and within reach just like gives me so much like I don't know, willpower to like leave my house
yeah.
and stuff.
I mean, I get these like fucking paranoid thoughts about like I don't know, other people fucking with me and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely, like for sure. Those paranoid thoughts are like what got me on eBay searching like spring-loaded knife in the first place.
It's not always so bad, but yeah, sometimes
No.
sometimes I'm really like on edge.
Yeah, it's like the whole deal, the whole like situation is really like it's like always the like simultaneously like the best and worst thing that ever happens to you. Like makes your life harder in mostly every way, but also you like can wake up in the morning and like look in the mirror and not entirely hate what you see, and
Yeah,
like
I
that's
feel like
pretty
I'm
cool.
finally becoming more comfortable with like my body.
Yeah, I'm like coming around that bend too, and it's like I don't know, it's satisfying. It feels like all the like shit that I had to wade through is like finally paying off.
Have you been doing more music production lately?
Oh God, yeah. I put out an
Oh,
album
really?
today
I didn't see that.
actually. Yeah, I made a trip hop album, which is like some shit that I've
Oh,
never
that
fucked
sounds
with before,
interesting.
and it was kind of cool. Yeah, it was fun. Like typically I'm really all about doing like the like fast and hard kind of like EDM shit, but I was kind of getting burnt out on that, so I wanted to do something that I've like never tried before, and something like a little slower and spacier, and it was a lot of fun. It was a nice break from like my usual stuff, and it was pretty refreshing, like
That's cool.
for
Is it
me
on like
creatively.
Bandcamp or something or SoundCloud?
Yeah. It's on that forlung.bandcamp.com. Don't mind me, just
Yeah, no
plugging
problem.
my shit on your stream.
I'll listen to that after the stream,
Yeah,
I guess.
I hope that you don't mind all the just the insane amount of fucking furry art that you
It's
see
all
when you
good.
like go to my Bandcamp. That's like totally like the scene that I came up in as far as like EDM goes and stuff from when I was like 14. It's weird, this little like self-contained like bubble of like EDM producers who are all just like belligerently furry just exists out there on the internet, and like
Interesting
they're all
subculture.
like super weird. Yeah, they're all like super weird and like um usually like extremely problematic in some way or another, and like are always talking about like their like incredibly obscure kinks and shit. It's kind of amazing, honestly. Like I'm not sick of it yet, so.
Is there much drama with that sort of community?
Oh hell
I would
fucking
kind of
yeah.
figure so, but I don't know.
No, yeah, it's all about it. Like, God, like it seems like every single like furry producer that I ever like grew up like looking up to has been like called out for some like absolutely heinous like act against humanity and like reduced to like deleting like all
Oh
of their
shit.
like accounts associated with that alias and stuff. And it's like some of them did pretty shitty things, but like I don't know, it's like it's a weird sense of responsibility that I have now, because I feel like I have to be the one who like doesn't fuck that up.
Right.
Like I like watched my heroes like crash and burn one by one, and
God.
now I'm like I
I
have
guess
to be
that's like
better
a
than them.
formative experience almost, just like witnessing that.
Yeah, it actually kind of was, because like when shit like that was happening, like I totally did like this fucking like shonen manga ass like thing where I was like, it's like fuck those guys for like shattering the image that I had of them in my mind. Like eventually I realized it's not good to like fuel all your creative exploits through like a revenge
Right.
complex. But in that time I did like work my ass off and get like really good at the thing that I do, so that was helpful for me in a way. But at the same time, it's like now I look back on that like, and I'm just like, oh man, that's so fucking embarrassing.
So you think that revenge complex like kind of fueled your like music creation?
Yeah, it at least definitely fueled like my desire to like get as good as I could be
Okay.
like at it, which was good. It was like I like made a resolution like, okay, when I like back to college this semester, like I'm not gonna bring like my TV and my Xbox, like I'm not gonna bring anything that's not related to like
Yeah, I think
making
that's like
music.
powerful
So
to do that.
then
It's like cutting out all this other stuff and letting it like gives you space
it
to
works really well.
do stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like really efficient, honestly. Like when like I would come home after class and like I would be ready to like do something recreationally to like chill out. It's like I didn't have anything available to me like in my immediate vicinity besides making music. So that became my recreational activity. And then like at that point I was like never doing something that wasn't like directly contributing to like me like developing a skill or whatever. And like that was a pretty like important decision like in that like period of my life, I guess. It like set me on a path to like do well in the future or whatever.
Lately, when I've been productive programming, it's been when I like close Twitter and make sure to like kind of stay off of it and just like like
Oh
cut out
yeah, for
everything.
sure.
Just like give myself, yeah. It's
Social
at the
media
tip of my
is
fingertips
like
at all times though, so it's kind of like hard to actually cut it out.
exactly. It's the hardest one to avoid for
Yeah,
sure.
so
Like
absent-mindedly, I have like
I
two
like
browsers open and they both have Twitter tabs, and like I close Twitter because I'm like done with it, and then I'll move to the other browser and there's Twitter, and I start browsing and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even realize I'm doing it. It's like subconscious. It's just like my default. I'm a sponge.
no,
I
for
just sit there.
sure.
I just absorb everything.
It's like you're like, okay, I'm done with Twitter, and you close it, but then you notice that in the other window, like you have one
Yeah.
new like notification, and you're just like, oh
It's just
shit,
some
what's
like on
that?
something.
And
It's
then
like
like
whatever,
you're
but it's
just
like it's so addictive.
but then you're in it for
Yeah.
35 more minutes like yeah, I totally fucking get that.
Like I think I spent recently a couple days like literally doing nothing, just like spending 8 hours a day online, just like absorbing like Twitter and refreshing everything over and over. It's just.
That's how my shit is when I don't like take my Adderall.
How often do you take that?
Like I take that every day. Sometimes I'll skip it on the weekends if I'm feeling like I don't have any like immediate like important priorities or whatever. But yeah, I take that every day, and I started that like a year ago, and that's when things really started to pick up as far as like my
Yeah,
productivity
because
went.
you've made
But like
so
when I
much
don't take
music.
it, it's I yeah, I like I don't know. I do it every day, and I put out 12 albums in 2016, which is like fucking like 2 years ago. If you told me that like 2 years in the future I'd make 12 albums in a year, like I would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's not
that's like
possible.
so
And
much.
yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's weird sometimes, because I feel as though like I have not like worked hard enough to like to for that to be like a reality. Like I
You
don't
should
know.
be proud of yourself for like
It's
producing so much stuff.
well, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's weird when you like spend a lot of your life like not really like accomplishing much, and then you start like accomplishing things, and then suddenly you have like this like thing that like people are like praising you for, and you're just like, are you sure are you do I deserve that? That sounds fake. Like it's weird.
I wish I could like be super productive. I mean, I guess there's Adderall, but I don't know.
There's definitely Adderall. Like I mean, I don't want to be that bitch, you know, who's like, yeah, take amphetamines, but like, they work pretty well.
I've never done Adderall actually.
It's it works differently for different people. Some people find that it's like more analogous to like a caffeine effect where it just like energizes you and like has that like wakefulness, but then for other people it has like this more sort of honed in effect where it kind of enables you to easier like sit down and like have one thing in mind and then like carry that thing out from like start to finish, and like that's really useful. At the same time, sometimes it's kind of like excessive. Like there will be times where like I'll become so invested in something that I'm doing that like if any sort of outside source like tries to like interrupt me while I'm doing that, like I'll get like super irritable and I'll like become like visibly like noticeably like pissed off, and like so that's like not great. It's like when I'm like making a song or whatever and like my mom calls me and I pick up the phone and I'm like, yeah, like
Are there any downsides to like Adderall usage besides being irritable like that?
Yeah, besides that, I mean, so far I haven't caught anything super bad. I mean, it's a diuretic, so like taking it on top of spironolactone, um,
Oh,
definitely, uh, like it requires you to drink a little more water than you normally would. But like that's not too bad. I'm like gotten pretty good into the habit of doing that, and like once your like dose is high enough, you start to kind of have uh like a sort of crash on the come down.
what's that like?
It's like you slowly start to like lose focus on things, and then you kind of feel like I don't know, just sort of blanked out for a little bit, and then like you come out of being blanked out, but you're just really tired. And that usually happens like around like a reasonable sort of bedtime anyway, so it's like not too bad. It's usually like they either give you the extended release or the immediate release, and like I have the immediate release kind, so when I take mine, I have a solid 4 hours where like I can just do the shit out of whatever I'm like trying to do, and then like for a good 2 hours after that, I'm just like feeling pretty all right, just like chilling. Like I'm not like as hardcore motivated to do the things, but like still doing well. And then like somewhere around like after dinner time, I like start to come down and I'm just like, okay, it's time to fall asleep on
Yeah.
the couch. And then somehow I still stay up until 5 a.m. every
Do you?
day. So I don't know how the fuck that happens. Yeah.
My sleep schedule just like rotates kind of.
Yeah, I feel that like I'll like stay up till 5 and go to sleep and like wake up at 10:30 for like a couple weeks in a row, and then like something will happen where I'll just fall asleep at like 3 p.m. and then wake up at like 1 a.m. and I'm just like, man, what the fuck like do I do now? Like
Yeah,
am I even a human anymore? Like
that sounds kind of relatable.
it's fucked.
I think not getting like sleep at the same time every day is maybe contributing to my like weird sleep problems. Cause like I have like I have like really weird sleep issues that like, I don't know. It's like really bad insomnia combined with like anxiety and fear and like exploding head syndrome, which is like my least favorite thing.
Oh, yo, I've read about that shit. That seems fucking
It's
alarming as
extremely
hell.
alarming. And sometimes, okay, lately, sometimes it's been almost visual. It's like I'll feel something kind of, and it'll be like, I'll get like this burst of like my eyes will be closed or whatever, but I'll just get this like burst of like, I don't know, almost like hallucinatory, like static or something, like white noise
Oh,
or
holy
something. I
shit.
don't know. It's really weird. It's like, it's,
God, that
but
sounds fucking terrifying.
most of the time it's like sound though, and it's just like this loud, like nonsensical noise. Like I don't know. It's really fucking strange.
Some kind of like 1,000 like static like crashing cymbals or
Yeah,
something.
it's really weird.
God,
It's just
yeah,
weird to
that's
think because it's like what like
that
my
sounds like
brain
a
is just like
fucked up thing to
generating
live
the
with.
sound and like it somehow like hits me and like it tends to I think it happens when I'm wound up and it's like I can't unwind sometimes,
Mm.
and then it just gets me over and over, and I get like more and more anxious that it's gonna happen again, and like it does, and like I have like fucked up nightmares and like really weird, like I wake up, my heart's pounding, I have like some fucked up nightmare, and like I don't know, just I have really weird sleep
Oof.
problems in general.
It sounds like it's a real fucking like
It's bad.
Ouroboros. Goddamn. Yeah, I thought that my sleep shit was bad, but like that's
It's not
fucked.
always like that. It's just it's been an ongoing problem this year.
Does
It
the
does
Klonopin help at
actually.
all?
It doesn't always
Mm.
100% reduce it, but it it really helps
Mm.
like significantly.
Yeah,
And
I
like
used
crying
to
before I sleep helps a lot, I think.
oh hell fucking yeah. Like that's the
Yeah.
surefire way. Like if you can manage to get to that point, like it's
Sometimes
that'll
like
do
I just need to
it.
like, well, I don't know. Sometimes I can get into mindset where I'm just like thinking about stuff, and then I'm able to cry about some things, and
Mm.
it's not always like that, but when it happens, I'm like kind of thankful. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. Like just think about like reality in general and just like being alive and how I'm not always gonna be alive and shit. I get really like existential about it, and
I know what that's like digging, like just really scraping like as far down in the barrel as you can for like just like what can I think of that's like really fucking sad? Like I can feel it coming. Like I need to like hit this
yeah.
tipping point. Like what do I got in my magic bag of sad
One of the
things?
things that helps for me is just thinking about my parents, that they're gonna die at some point. I have a
Yeah, that's
good
a pretty
relationship with
solid
my
one.
parents. I know I'm like kind of blessed to have that. I'm like thankful for that. And when I think about the fact that they're getting older and stuff, sometimes it really gets me, and
Mm.
that can be a reason for me to cry.
Yeah, I've definitely like used that sort of tactic too, thinking about like my mom. I love the shit out of my mom. My mom's been like super fucking good to me like my whole life, all through my transition too, and like sometimes I like think about how like she is seems to always be on the brink of like losing her job or whatever, catastrophic, and that like usually that's usually enough to kind of tip the ice to like tip the iceberg or whatever and like flip myself over into just being like a mess.
Life is sad sometimes. It's just sad.
Life is sad sometimes, and like it's cool though because you can use like the sad parts of your life to kind of like
Appreciate the good parts.
get yourself to do this. Well, yeah, to appreciate the good parts by contrast, but also like you can like think about a lot of those, and then your body will like do this weird thing where it shoots water out of its face, and then you
Yeah,
like feel a
it's
lot
weird to
better.
think about that actually, like that whole process.
Yeah, like why the fuck does crying even happen? Honestly, it's like what? How come when you're sad, like your eyeballs leak water? It's the same as like why do you like laugh when things are funny? It's just
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's strange. Being human is strange, kind of.
It's super strange. I mean, nobody knows that better than like I don't know. I guess like people who are like transitioning specifically. Like being a human's fucking weird, and it's fucking weird how you can like change your physical form.
Yeah.
Like if you just have like the means to, and like change it drastically. And it's like I don't know. It's so fucking strange. We're like malleable as
Yeah.
creatures.
I guess we're always changing just from like aging too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's kind of cool though. Like, I don't know. I feel like obviously like I'll always do things that like a year from now I'll like look back and be like, "Oh, I was so fucking stupid a year ago." And then like the year after that I'll look back and be like, "Oh, I was so fucking stupid." Like and then I'll keep going probably forever, but like I don't know, I feel like collectively like as each year goes by, like I take little bits and pieces of like the things I did that weren't fuck ups and like kind of use those as like little like building blocks to
Yeah.
attach to myself to like grow myself into like a I don't know like the best
Yeah.
person I can be or whatever that kind of shit.
I'm really like happy with some of the stuff in my past, but also there's been some pain as well, and I don't know, just like reflecting on it. It's like kind of growing as a person or something.
Yeah, for sure. It's useful like especially if you like that's the thing that's been useful for me is like having like a long sort of like discography that stretches
See,
back like
that's so
three
cool
years
because
is like
you
I can
have all that
listen.
stuff. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
basically an archive of like how I was feeling like in a certain moment and like I can revisit that shit and be like, "Oh yeah, like I remember like I made it sound like this because I was feeling like this." And like that's been like a really useful like introspective tool, I
Do you
think,
let the music
for me.
stand on its own, or do you ever like sort of like explain why you made it a certain way or like expand upon it?
Oh, I'm always, for sure, am always like finding excuses to like talk about why I make music the way I talk, like the way I make it. Even when nobody asks, sometimes I'll just like throw trivia out there. I don't know why. I think it's just like really satisfying to talk about because it's like when somebody like enjoys this thing that I'm like putting out into the world, it's like I want them to know like what sort of like what's behind it. Like I don't know. I also think that it's just like a really human tendency to like enjoy like talking about yourself, as like conceited as that
Yeah,
is.
I think that's true.
More often than not, though, I'm giving like the sort of like mechanical fun facts instead of like the emotional ones. Like somebody will like send me an ask on Tumblr and be like, "Hey, like I really like this one song of yours. Like, how did you make like this effect happen?" And I'll be like, "Hey, well, I used this VST to make that sound, but also fun fact, this whole song's composition is just a Smash Mouth song backwards."
Did you do that?
And I'll just like, yeah, I did. I made a song called "I Drank Delsum Twice a Week for a Year and Now I'm Transgender," and that's what it is. It's Smash Mouth's All Star, but it's backwards, and I just like reversed the MIDI and like built a song around
Once
it.
I made a remix, well, yeah, once I made like a remix of Gerudo Valley from Ocarina of Time, but it was backwards because someone like uploaded the song backwards, and like there's parts of it that sound kind of cool. Like it sounded like a song on its own, and like I kind of moved a little bit of it around to make it sound better backwards, and I don't
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
that was a cool moment of inspiration because like usually with like music creation I don't really do too much of it. I mean I have like I have like two, I guess they're albums. I have like two things from 2008. It's like forever ago, and I kind of haven't really done much since then. But I think that was,
Oh wait, you like made two
yeah,
albums in 2008? Like
Fruity
what with?
Loops.
Like oh
Yeah.
hell yeah. Yo, like if you're ever comfortable, like send me a zip of that
Okay, yeah, I
sometime.
could
I
do
would
that.
fucking
I
love to
might
hear
like,
that.
maybe I should like get a SoundCloud or something and just like throw it up. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. I would be psyched
Yeah,
to
I
hear
mean,
that.
I listen to it and like sometimes there's some stuff that I like about it, but oftentimes it's also sort of well, I don't know. there's there's something very like I was never really totally satisfied. Like there was just bits and pieces that I liked, but I was never able to like
Mm.
I don't know, be satisfied, and like it was really hard. Like I couldn't like compose songs at all. Like I could like kind of take something I made and then make it sound kind of okay, then like kind of repeat it or add to it, and sometimes add different parts. But like actually like making like songs, like composing stuff, I don't know. It's just like I couldn't really.
It's hard to like get a handle on it, honestly. Like there was a long ass time like after I first like got like a crack of Fruity Loops from like my friend originally, like when I was 19 years old. Like there was a long time after that where I was just like fucking around making like these 30-second bullshit things and then like hitting a wall with them and like
That,
not
yeah,
knowing
that's
what
like
to do.
exactly my
And
experience. It's like 30 seconds and then like I have nowhere to go with it. It's just like stuck.
yeah, it's like any other thing where like you just gotta do it a lot and then you like get better at it. It's like you just gotta keep making those shitty 30-second things, and eventually you'll kind of like you might figure out that like two of them sound like they're in the same key or something, or like would sound good together, and then you stick those two together and suddenly like if you repeat each of them once, like it's like you got a whole
Right.
like 2-minute song, and then you're like, whoa, holy shit, like I'm a musician. And it's just like little things like that, and you kind of like keep building on the things that you make until you come out with these like seemingly like finished products. And when you first start putting them out, it's like people don't really realize that it's like a bunch of like bits and pieces that you like picked apart from all your different shit that were like failed attempts from
Yeah,
the
I guess to
past.
like the outside observer, it's like just kind of this cohesive piece.
That's the interesting thing about like producing music is like producers will fret so much about like everything being perfect and like mixing and mastering and like all this audio engineering shit, and it's like to a person who doesn't produce music, it's like most of it's like a whole lot of that shit is just completely like unnoticeable. It's all just like little idiosyncrasies. And
I liked one of my favorite things to do was just to like just like tweak the reverb and tweak the equalizer and stuff. just kind of like shape it a little
Yeah,
bit.
I love effects for sure. I sometimes wish that I could like explore all my like effects and Fruity Loops for the first time again, because I just remember being so psyched when I like figured out how to use them, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck does this one do?
It reminds me of
And
like Photoshop filters almost, just like
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure. The first time you find those and you're just like, oh,
yeah.
holy shit. Yeah, I used to like when I first started using Fruity Loops, I would like make a like just a string of kick drums, and then I would put like a bunch of like chorus and phaser on them, so that they just like uh would like kind of get all muddled together and just sound like this big nasty like squishy alien sound, and I would just be like, hell yeah, like I could sell this as experimental music. I'm a musician and this rules.
Do you ever use phaser and stuff still?
Yeah, for sure. I use it like a lot more sparingly, and like I've had enough like trial and error to like understand like when it's a good idea to use it and when it's like not, or at least like that's pretty subjective. That's like an opinion sort of thing. But yeah, I definitely like I use all the same shit honestly that I used when I was starting out. That pack of sound fonts and stuff that I like hand out to like trans kids who make music
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way.
is just all, yeah, no problem. You thanked me for that like 5 times. I know that you
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well, I had some stuff
It's all good.
like years ago, and then I lost it, and I had nothing. So that kind of like rebooted me. It's like I had stuff again. I haven't really
Just
made like this
drop
year. I
this.
messed around and made like 7 like tiny loops that were like no more than 10 seconds long. I think I made like maybe 7 of those this
Mhm.
year, but they're like it's not really a song. It's like 10 seconds.
I mean, a lot of those loops were like pretty good though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I remixed one of
that
them
was
because
really
I was
cool.
psyched about it.
I liked doing them, but also like, yeah, they're just like I was satisfied with some of them. Like I like how they came out, even though they're just like really tiny.
Mhm. And I mean, like that's where you start with it, you know? Like that's like what you gotta like do at first and like push through to get to the other side where you're like doing like full length songs and stuff. But what I was gonna say was like those sound fonts that are in that pack are just all the first like sound fonts that I downloaded like when I started making music, and I still use like all of those.
The drum breaks too.
Yeah, God, I fucking love like breakbeat percussion. I can't get enough of that shit.
Yeah, some of those I was looking at some of those and they're really satisfying, and it's kind of weird thinking about it because it's like I didn't like put this together. It's just like I'm kind of stealing this break or whatever, but it kind of fits and it's good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like what a whole lot of shit is based on though, or like built upon. Like you know about the
Yeah.
amen break, right?
I saw your
Yeah,
parody
it's like
username too. That was
that
funny.
shit. Thanks. I thought it was pretty clever. Yeah, like that shit's in everything from like Skrillex to like Kanye West to
Yeah.
like
Great artist
like
steal, I guess.
there's like a song. Yeah, there's like a song on like the Pokemon the first movie soundtrack with the almond break in it. It's everywhere, and it's like that's just how like digital music production works. Like you use like pre-recorded audio assets just as much as you use composition. If that's what you're into. I mean, it's not really like there's no
Yeah, I
rules
guess
or
there's no rules.
yeah, yeah. It's all pretty much just like do whatever you want. I got no patience for people who are like who like try to tell other people that they're like making music wrong, or because it's like that's not real.
Um, yeah, I'm thinking about like the OC remix judging stuff, like songs get accepted or rejected. Um,
Mm.
I was talking to someone about that recently, actually, because I don't know, I used to go on that site sometimes.
What is that site? I don't
OC
think I've ever heard of
remix.
it. Yeah.
It's like video game remixes, but they have like a judging
Oh, okay.
process, and then
Yeah.
stuff gets like accepted or rejected or whatever. And I think they have their own sort of
I guess
like
that makes sense.
like style or kind of where it's like they'll if it's not like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
unique enough arrangement, they'll just be like no, I think.
Yeah, and that makes like that makes sense. Like if you have like a thing that you're going for, like a theme or like a set of standards for like this like to contribute to like the totality of like this bigger thing that you're working on, then it's like it makes sense to like have a list of requirements. But if it's like just like some kid makes like a dark ambient song and like puts it on their SoundCloud or something, and like some fucking like super technical like metal guitarist like comes in
And tries to tear it
and they're
apart,
like in the
like,
comment
yeah.
section. Yeah, like fuck you. You could have mixed this fucking dark ambient song better. It's like, dude, it's like first of all, it's like it's dark ambient. Like this is just literally some like low pitched growling. Second of all, like shut up.
People are always looking to like it's like something, okay, you know, Twitch TV, it's like, yeah, it's
Of
like
course, yeah.
you play any
It's
game.
bad.
You play like any game, and like people who are like experts in the game will like find your stream, come in and like tell you what you're doing wrong, and like kind of like try to take command
Oh
and like be
yeah.
the authority or whatever. It's like it
You can be playing the most obscure fucking game in the world, and just one guy will come in and be like,
yeah,
"You're
it's
not
like
doing it right."
people,
Like,
they, I don't know, their ego gets like satisfied by like being like the authoritative like master of something, and like coming in and like, I don't know, like people do that a lot. So what you just said about the music thing
yeah,
reminded me of that.
it's totally real, and it's in every
Yeah.
single corner of the internet. Like that's especially strong in music. I beefed with this kid on Twitter who like would tear other kids apart for their songs that had like something in it that was like out of harmony by 20 cents or something, which is like what
It's
that
like a
means is
minuscule amount of
like
pitch off or something, right?
yeah, it's 20/100ths away from like the note that it's supposed to be to harmonize with it, which is like a thing that's like perfectly legitimate. Like that's why like the detune knob is like on a bunch of instruments. But like this guy just like hated like the idea of it not being perfect so much that he like had felt the need to like drag this fucking kid for it. And it's like, man, like all you're gonna do is like discourage that child from like making art.
Yeah, that's bad.
You're not helping. I mean, if anything, like maybe offer to like teach them like the way that you think is proper to do it, but like don't just come in here and be like, you fucking suck. I don't know. Kids on the internet are crazy.
Yeah.
You probably know that better
Yeah.
than anyone.
I don't know. The internet is a strange place. I think of it as my home, but also it's like full of like, I don't know, bad things. Yeah.
It's hell. Yeah. The internet, like, without a doubt, like the internet has been the entity that has had like the biggest impact on me like throughout my life. Like it hasn't been my parents, it hasn't been my teachers, it's been the fucking internet.
I
Like
think the same is true for me.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it's such a weird like it's such a weird and huge thing that's like omnipresent in like all of our lives, and it just like it affects us so heavily. But it's like you don't like when you've had access to a computer since you were like 8 years old or whatever. It's like you don't after a point you don't really think about it.
Yeah, I used to just be online like all day, and well, not all day, but like I don't know, I'd get back from class and just like
Hmm.
be on the computer all night.
Yeah, and you see all these things that you never thought could possibly exist, and you kind of wish that you didn't see them, but it's like too late and you can't unsee them, and you're there's weird things to your brain, and it's like, well, now I know like what like cockvore is. Like I guess that's just a thing in my life now. Oh, now I know about like quicksand fetishism. Yeah, it's a weird beast. I don't know. I try to like at this point I try to like confine myself to like my own little like fenced in area of the internet where like I talk to like the people who are like doing similar things to me, or just like talking to like friendly trans women about nothing or whatever. And like I try not to like get out of that box so much anymore, just because like I spent so much time like just like completely ruining myself like on like fucking 4chan and shit like growing up.
Um, like I have the opportunity to kind of box myself in, and often I hang out in like my box, but then I also like I get sucked into like fucking everyone's negative shit. Like I can't resist. I can't resist. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't stop like paying attention to like everyone, like how everyone perceives me. I'm just like,
No, I get that. I
it's
get
like I don't
that.
know, attention is just like I can't help but like soak in it. Even if it's so bad, and I think maybe that's part of the reason I have like this anxiety disorder is because I've been like, I don't know.
can understand that, like, that inclination for sure though. Like I like in a very paranoid way, I'm like frequently checking like my Tumblr tag to see like if anyone's talking shit, and like when they do, it's like I know it's gonna make me feel bad. Like I know that it's like gonna upset me, but like I need to know like whether or not it's happening, and I need to know like who's saying it, and it's like all that really like comes out of it is that I just like block them or whatever, but like I still feel the need to like do that like masochistic thing.
Yeah, I feel very similar. I feel kind of masochistic.
It's yeah, I don't know. There's like a weird like self-deprecating like morbidity about it where you just like you have to do it for some reason. It sucks. I've considered like trying to spin a positive on it though. Like I've considered like screenshotting hate
I've
like multiple
definitely done
times
that.
and then like
Wait, what,
selling
do what with it though?
like not just like archive it, but like like sell it on Redbubble on like a t-shirt or something. Like somebody made a comment on Facebook a while ago that said like like Forlung's high key annoying anyway, and I thought that that was like at first I was like really bummed out and like hurt, and then I was like then I thought it was kind of funny and like started like posting it and
Yeah.
quoting it a lot, and now I want to like put it on like a bumper sticker or something or like a t-shirt and be like, yeah, you can buy this from me for $20.
I like that. It's like you take it and then you turn it into something that's like, I don't know, that's cool.
Directly
Yeah.
beneficial to you. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'd have to like it's like you need a very specific kind of hate to do that though. Like something short and sweet and to the point, like Forlung's high key
Yeah,
annoying
high
is
key
like
annoying is a funny
perfect for
phrase,
that.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah, that's like really what got me about it. Yeah. Just you can't really do that with like just like a huge text. Or I guess maybe you could if you wanted to like take
Just
that
like
approach.
plaster it on it.
But
Yeah, you could do that.
just a whole like there's just a whole 4chan thread just like on you.
Oh god, I'm thinking about like 4chan hate posts as like leggings or something. It's a terrible idea.
Oh my god. Yo, I would wear the shit out of those. Like just like an
Yeah,
all
well
over
the problem
print.
is the shit I see is like hate speech. It's like not even like negative criticism. It's like fuck. It's, I don't
Right,
know, it's
right.
fucked up. It's bad.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm like waiting for the day that like someone directly like addresses me as like a faggot or a trap or something just so I can be like, yeah, that's my name, don't wear it out. I don't know. I like want so badly to like make people understand that like that's a thing that I'm like
Right.
over. Like, I don't know. That's the thing I would have gotten upset about like maybe like a year and a half ago. Like, but now I'm just like, yeah, there I am. That's me.
Yeah, it's weird how like some stuff you sort of like are desensitized to it, or like you don't like it doesn't bother you anymore, but then other stuff like for example like at the beginning of this year I did some like art stuff in Photoshop and like some portrait stuff, and I streamed the process of creating the portraits, and I like name searched myself on Twitter and someone like was talking about my artistic process, and despite all these like hate posts floating around that didn't really bother me that much, but just like this sort of like critical eye about the way I created art, it made me like feel something. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's the fucking worst. That's absolutely the fucking worst. Like I had like that exact situation where like I posted like some like music theory homework that I was like having trouble with, and I was like, yo, like I don't understand this. Like this is hard and frustrating. Like can someone help me out? And like somebody reblogged it like talking about like how fucking easy it was. Like I'm like undeserving of like my like level of accomplishment if I like can't figure out this simple thing or whatever. And that like hit me so hard. I was like, oh, like I just got like fucking punched in the stomach. Like that's the most dangerous sort of troll, is the one that like knows how to get
Yeah, how to
directly
affect
to
you.
you.
It's funny how words on the internet do that. It's like sometimes, oh, I was gonna say something. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Fuck. God, my memory is sometimes like I just like forget what I was gonna say.
No worries. We're talking about hate on the internet and really specific hate that like
Oh
hits
yeah, I
your
was gonna ask.
heartstrings.
Have you ever made a post on the internet where like you post, then you start kind of like shaking because it's like really personal?
I have, yeah, for sure. I do that less now than I used to, but I've definitely done shit like that and just like been like I don't know, it's like I've felt the need to like do that. And I don't know why I felt the need to do that, because it's like it's completely like not a thing that's like practical. you know? But it's like an urge that overtakes you. And like at least when it's just like personal venting about something. I mean, like if that's the context that you mean.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like something kind of personal or serious or like emotionally charged to the point that like you
Yeah,
post it
yeah.
or whatever, and then you like shake it, you kind of like shake, or you're really like feeling, I don't know, like that's happened to me before.
Yeah, you kind of vibrate in your chair, and it's like if you don't immediately delete it, then you like just think about it all
Yeah, and
day.
like I don't know, like eagerly,
Yeah.
nervously reacting to responses and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I definitely used to do that a whole lot more. Now I have like alternate accounts. Like like Twitter is a good platform because like you can make an alternate account that's locked and you like have to
Yeah,
approve
I
all the
never did that.
followers.
Like I don't know, for some reason. I think I used my Discord server as like my little like private area kind of.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, honestly. Like the castle's like a pretty good place in comparison to probably any social media platform. But yeah, like that's mostly what I use like my like private Twitter for is just like spewing a bunch of emotional bullshit that like would either be like poorly received or like uh I don't know, like boring or uninteresting or just like
Yeah.
sad. And I'll just like dump it all there and be like, yo, like the like 52 people here who like I actually know, like y'all can have this, but like you like however many thousand people out on Tumblr, like I'll spare you and I'll spare
Do you ever
myself.
have a tough time figuring out like which account to post to? Like if
Which what?
like you don't know which account to post it to.
Oh yeah, sometimes I'll that's a thing that you kind of like get a feel for over time. Like what like is this like is this worthy for the main or like is this like an alt account kind of deal? And you kind of have to like sort of weigh that because it's like I don't know, like do I want to take this risk or whatever. It's weird when you kind of like stop using social media for fun and kind of like start using it like as like a PR thing,
Right.
like a yeah, and you have to be like a lot more selective about like the things that you post, and it like it feels strange to like make that sort of like transition.
I've wanted to like not have to be like that, but also, well, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I let stuff build up, and because I don't have a private account, like sometimes I just unleash some stuff, and
Hmm.
like I don't know, like sometimes it gets emotionally charged with like other people. Uh, I don't really mind, I guess, but
Would it be like fair to assume that you are like at like a particular point of desensitization to like people's reactions to things that you just like are capable of doing that?
it kind of depends. I mean, I still like recently there's been moments where I've been like really emotionally charged, and then people are like reacting negatively and I'm like feeling it. I'm like I don't know, it's like just a moment that happens, and I don't know. I feel like I've kind of like broken ties with a lot of people. I've sort of like drifted apart into my own little like thing, and I'm not like so much part of a like well in the past, I was like part of like the speedrunning community and stuff, and now I feel like I'm like kind of separate from that. So I feel like kind of like an outlaw or
But
something where I can like
I feel
say
like
my fucking I can like speak my mind and not give a shit kind of.
right, right. You like know the horrors and you're like free to talk about them now. Like if you like did back then, you would be like, well, first of all, you probably like didn't have the same set of eyes on the whole situation, but like if you were like gonna talk shit like back then, you'd probably be seen as like this like
Yeah,
whistleblower or
I guess so.
something,
I
and
don't
it's
know.
like how dare you betray the dogma or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like I had opinions like for a long time that I just like wasn't gonna say anything. I just had my own opinions and I kept it secret, and then
Mm.
being
It's
more
weird
free.
when you like it's weird when you like you're a part of a community and you like slowly rise to prominence in that community and then like you sort of detach yourself from that and then like suddenly there's a community that's formed itself underneath you and like kind of like crossing that barrier is like very strange. Like I kind of did the same thing on like a far lesser scale, obviously, but like I don't know, it's very weird to be like somebody who's like an active contributor to a whole and then like being the person who like is the whole that like other people are talking about and like other people are like I don't know interacting with, like being the subject instead of like
Right.
participating in the subject.
Yeah, thing with me, like a lot of people want
Yeah.
me to do this or that or not do this and like fuck this and like I try to just be free to like I try to be free to do whatever, but
Yeah, I fucking see like every single time I come into the stream. I only come into the stream like I only manage to get in the stream like maybe like once a month now. But like like when kids come in and they're just like Narcissa, when are you gonna speed run Ocarina of Time again? It's like where have you
yeah,
fucking been for
seriously.
like the last like couple
Seriously.
years? Like you like little piece of shit. Like what are you doing?
I don't know. What are they? Like are
And
they just trying to like seek attention? Do they just want me to like acknowledge them? Is that why they say that?
they are so constantly present too. Like every single time without fail, there is at least one kid who just like keeps like saying the exact same thing into the chat. Like, when are you gonna speed run again?
Like the last time I really did. Well, okay, to be fair, like I was like doing some Twilight Princess stuff, but uh then my hands hurt again and I kind of stopped, but I don't know. It was more for the stream environment though. It wasn't really cuz I wanted to really speedrun the game. It's sort of just like a community thing kind of. Just like have like an
Mm-hmm.
environment and a stream and just something that I'm doing that's kind of entertaining and just yeah, I don't know. Like the last time I did like
Yeah,
serious like
and
grinding speedruns and stuff, it was years ago. It was like middle of 2014 or something. So I don't know. Maybe by the time 2017, moving into this year, people will finally like let go of that a bit.
they'll fucking
Yeah.
get the idea. Like, yeah, we'll see. I guess something tells me they won't, but like fingers
Well, I
crossed.
am gonna
Anyway.
get involved with Breath of the Wild next year, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
like
like
I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it, but I feel like I'm just gonna be really involved with it.
yeah, which is like definitely like I think like where your bliss will
Yeah,
be
because
at.
it's something that
And
I'm like really looking forward to, and it's also something that I think other
mm,
people kind of want out of me. And instead of
yeah, for
feeling
sure. I
used,
feel like
it'll just be like
there's
kind of
yeah.
genuine.
Right, yeah, and that's probably like the first time it's like felt like that
Yeah,
in a while. It's weird like having like expectations laid on you and then like not like having any desire whatsoever to kind of live up to them, but it's like the voices that keep like nagging you to do it just like they don't like go
yeah.
away. They're just like still
Sometimes those
there.
voices make me want to do it less. It's just like fuck you, but
Oh yeah, anytime someone comes into my inbox and it's just like, why don't you make a remix of like this dumbass meme song or something? And I'm just like I wasn't even thinking about that before, but now I'm like
yeah,
definitely not gonna do it.
yeah. Let the artists maintain freedom.
Yeah. That's like the whole thing about like what makes art cool is that it's like a thing that like manifests itself inside a person and then they like shoot it through their limbs out
Yeah,
into the world, and it's like when you're trying to like move the marionette for them or whatever, it's like no dude, like
yeah,
it's one thing to do that, but then it's another thing to like not learn from that and just like keep doing it.
yeah. It just gets grating.
Yeah, it just becomes white noise eventually, like
Yeah, it really is. Just like it's like okay.
there's that thing that's always droning in the background of my life. I'm sorry if you can like hear me like vaping through the
I
mic.
did not know that, but now I do.
All right, cool. Well, now that I've just admitted my
Well, I haven't heard
sin
it at all,
to
so you're good.
that's something like my girlfriends are always calling me out on that. They're all, I can hear you vaping. It's like, leave me alone. I'm addicted to nicotine.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you meant nicotine or cannabis.
Oh yeah, I don't fuck around with the THC these days. I did it every day for like 5 years, but it's just like I just like don't have room for it like in my life anymore,
That's
I
probably
guess.
good that you
Like it's
that
like
you're not doing it.
yeah, I don't know. It's like a commitment. Like if I'm gonna like get high, it's like I need to like understand going into it that I'm like not
Yeah,
gonna get anything done, and like when I don't get stuff done, like I feel kind of bad, and like then I'm gonna worry about that.
yeah.
Like for most of the
I
duration of
feel
me
like,
being
yeah, that
high.
sucks.
And
That
like,
makes it a bad trip anyway.
yeah, it's lame. Like, I don't know. It got easier when I like moved away from like my friends who would smoke all the time, because it's like I was doing it because like I was in the habit of it because they were, and like they were the only people I was hanging out with. And I don't know, when I like moved away from them and was like in a place where I like no longer like had a connect, it was like much easier to just like not do it. When you have access to it, that's when it's easy to
Yeah,
just
do it every
like,
day.
yeah, exactly, just like smoke as soon as the money comes in, like go out and like buy an eighth.
Kind of wish I could enjoy it more, but it's just been shitty.
I was feeling that too, because it's like for the first like year that you're like doing it, it's like, yo, this is fucking cool. Like, why wasn't I doing this earlier? And then by like the third year that you're doing it, it's like, why am I so depressed and anxious all the time? I don't
Yep.
get it. I don't know, it's fucked. And it's like, it's not like that for everybody, I guess. Like, there's some people who just smoke weed their whole lives and they're like
Yeah,
perfectly like
apparently. I know a lot
happy
of
with
people who
it.
say it like
But
helps with their anxiety and stuff. I don't really understand, but
yeah, yeah. And then there's just like a whole lot of other people who are just like, yeah, like just one day it just like stopped being good for me. And I'm like, I feel that. I fucked around with a lot of stuff like growing up, I guess. Like, I'm really like glad that I dodged the bullet on a couple things. Like, there's a time when I was like there's a time when I was like 18, 19 where I was like just just drinking a lot of Robitussin, and like that's just some weird shit.
yeah, I don't know much about it actually.
It's like a dissociative hallucinogenic. It kind of makes you feel like you are elsewhere, like controlling yourself with like a remote control.
Okay.
And it's like a very sort of like dizzy, like goopy feeling, like experience. And it was weird because it was like, it was useful to me, I think, in like what I would do is like I would like come home from like working at the fucking Walgreens, and I would like come home like with the bottle of Robitussin that I like bought with my employee discount. And I would like drink cough syrup, and then like the trip would set in, and I would like become like very, very aware of like this one sound happening in my fucking apartment. And I would like stop at nothing to find the source of that sound, and like I would realize that it's like the refrigerator just like buzzing or something. And then I would just like sit in front of it and just like put my ear on it and just listen to it for a while. And like my roommates would come home and just see me like in the kitchen like listening to the fridge, and they'd be like, "Hey, dead name, you drinking cough syrup again?" And I'd be like, "Yep, sure am."
That's an
And
interesting
I don't know,
experience, I guess.
it was just a weird like like part of my life for sure. There's a lot of like videos archived on Tumblr that I took while like robo tripping, and it's like it's all me, and I have like a little synthesizer plugged into like my amplifier or something, and I am like, my face is like just right up in the amplifier, and I'm just hitting the same note over and over again. And I like felt that that was like an important enough thing for me to like document, because like at the time I was like so interested in like this thing that was happening.
That's
Like,
that's kind of interesting
I don't
though.
know. It was interesting in the sense that like, I don't know, it was kind of like I was like approaching my senses in like a way that I wouldn't have normally done. But at the same time, like I was becoming like super emotionally distant from like everyone that I knew, and was like just like not like feeling good in my stomach like
Yeah.
constantly all the time. And just like was not becoming like, I was just not a healthy person when I was doing that like 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm really glad that like I just decided to stop drinking cough syrup one day, because I can't imagine like what my life would be like if I was still like a weird little like cough syrup gremlin.
Yeah, maybe not as productive.
Yeah. Maybe not as just like good at all in any way. Yeah, drugs
Yeah.
are weird.
I haven't really done that many drugs in my life. Just like a lot of
Yeah, I heard that.
cannabis
It's like you got the Klonopin, the
and
cannabis,
codeine.
alcohol, and codeine. I'm allergic to that,
Oh,
apparently.
I never like did a lot of it. It was just like a bit, and it would make me feel better. It would feel good. It's like I remember like the
Yeah.
first time I had it, and I was like, "Hey, this medicine actually does something," unlike Advil or whatever, which seems to not really do anything.
Yeah, this is some nice medicine.
Yeah.
It makes me feel warm
Of
and
course,
kind of
it's like
sleepy.
addictive and like can be destructive, I guess, if you do it a lot.
Well, it's literally like a liquid opiate.
Well, it was in
So
pill form.
yeah. Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's just an opiate. Yeah. There was like a time when I was like stealing my like grandmother's like hydrocodone,
Yeah, that's similar, right?
like which is like yeah, it's Vicodin, which is also like
Right.
an opiate or something similar. And like God, I just like think back on these times when I was like in my late teens, just like doing this like just asinine shit, like involving like drugs and things, and I'm just like why? Like I wasn't having like fun. I don't know. It's so weird like how things change.
Yeah, with the cannabis thing, it's like I'd start doing it, and then I'd start doing it every day, and then it's like I didn't even know why I was doing it. I was just doing it. And when you said like watching yourself with a remote control or something, like sometimes when I would start like grinding the marijuana and stuff and like getting it all packed in there or whatever, it was like I felt like I was just watching myself do it. It was just like this automatic like,
Yeah.
all right, time to get my drug fix now. And
Yeah,
yeah,
just on
autopilot.
autopilot.
It's just like kind of strange, and it wouldn't really. It would just make me feel scared mostly. It's weird. It wouldn't make me feel good. Like sometimes creative, and sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's okay, but mostly just fear.
It's strange, like even when it's something that's not really like too physically addictive, like cannabis, like even that being the case, like it's still like it's weird because it's like you get to a point with it where like you're doing it so often that like just being sober feels like uncomfortably
Yeah,
foreign to you.
it becomes totally habitual.
Like you
once
don't have
you
like
start doing it.
yeah, there's no like physical withdrawal symptoms or anything, but like you're just like whoa, what the fuck? Like I've been sober for too long. Like this is I like am not like okay with this. Like I have to like get high. And it's so weird like being at that point and then like I don't know, like being off of it for a while and then like looking back at that and being like I don't know. It's weird. Drugs are weird.
Did you ever dream on marijuana, or does it always like cancel out your dreams?
I used to have like crazy dreams when I'd smoke, but then after I was like in the habit for like 6 months or so, I just stopped having dreams.
I kind of liked how well. I think I was actually getting some okay sleep on marijuana. I keep calling it marijuana. I know cannabis is like a better term, but yeah. What am I trying to say? Like after I stopped using it, my dreams suddenly like kicked back in super strong. After like not having dreams for a while, and I had some like really weird
Yeah.
dreams. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's like I definitely feel that too. I remember it like all sort of like rushing back and like I don't know, like being sober for a week and then just having like a really lucid dream.
Yeah, super lucid.
And waking up and being like, ah.
Yeah.
I always have weirdly specific dreams where I'm like on like trains and I'm always going from one specific place to another specific place in Europe on the train. I've never been to fucking Europe like in real life, but like I had a dream where like I was taking a train through like Poland at night, like in the wintertime, and then I had another one where I was going from Dusseldorf to Amsterdam.
That's
and
strange.
like I don't fucking like I've never fucking been like in the Eastern Hemisphere, like well, I actually don't think that's in the Eastern Hemisphere. I don't know. But like I haven't been across the Atlantic Ocean. Like I don't know. And it's like that's like it's like a recurring scenario, but like the train always looks different and like the locations are always different and it's weird and I can see different things out the windows.
Yeah,
It's super strange.
dreams are weird in general. Like it's so
They're really
it's
weird.
how like there's like a setting and there's people like I don't know. I dream and there's like people that I know in the dream.
It's like some sort of like weird like RNG like in
Yeah,
your
just,
brain.
like, starts creating
It's
situations.
just like yeah, it's just like creating these images and these scenarios for you, like just to occupy you while you sleep. And it's like it's so weird. And like thinking that like your brain can't ever just like turn off, like it needs to be doing something at all times, even when you're sleeping, is like I don't know. It's strange to think about that too. Like it just can't like stop.
Yeah, I can't stop, won't stop. I have these weird like sleep paralysis.
I was trying to
things.
think.
It's like
Ooh,
it's just
those
like
are
I'm coming
fucking
out of a
scary.
dream, but I'm like conscious in the dream. It's like I'm thinking, I'm like looking around and like I can't move, and like there's one time where it's like I was like, am I dreaming? And then I look at my nose because like there's like this like blurry nose in front of me. It's like my nose, and like I focus on it and it just turns into like random colors like splattered around. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely dreaming
shit.
right now. It's like, what the fuck? It's really weird.
That seems
Yeah,
like a dream
it just
thing.
like it freaked me out because then I thought like, well, if I'm dreaming and this is all not real, then why can't I just like dream up like the worst horrific, fucked up, like terrifying, like petrifying evil thing possible and then just like torture myself. And it scares the hell out of me.
You just like completely
Yeah,
fuck
and I
yourself
feel like
right
I
then
do
and
that
there.
sometimes in real life where it's like I'll just think of like the worst possible thing that could happen in the moment and like I'll just like freak out for a
God, yeah.
second. I don't know.
I do that all the fucking time. Like I'll be standing, like it'll be something so mundane. I'll be like standing in line at the post office or something, and I will just be like, what if I'm just like in this moment just straight up
Yeah, I
murdered?
get these
And like
thoughts too.
what if nobody that I know feels bad about it? Like it's just so fucking like unnecessary and like uncalled for, and it's just like this fucked up intrusive thought.
Another one too is like I'll be like, what if I turn this corner and like someone's there with a knife like ready to just like get me, and then I'll turn the corner and like nothing will be there, but like this fear response like shoot through my system and I'll like freak out for a second. I'll be like so startled.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that's actually like it's those exact kind of situations that like led me to like, buy a knife. And like when I'm like when I'm turning corners now, like my hand is like on it. It's like
Fuck. I feel like if I had a weapon like that, I'd be even more like, well, I don't know. I don't know what it'd be like, but yeah, fuck. God, at least I'm not alone in like feeling that way.
it's fucked. Being like I don't know, just paranoid
Yeah.
is
And I
some
tell
fucking
myself
bullshit.
like this
It's
is
like
kind of a
yeah.
bad way to think because it's not really protecting myself, it's just sort of scaring myself. And the scaring myself gives me stress, and the stress is like bad for my heart. So it's like unhealthy, I think.
Yeah, and then like the fact that you were like concerned about like your anxiety and what that will do to your heart through this sequence of events is just like
Yeah,
another
exactly. It's
anxiety
like
thing.
I'm getting down.
It's
It's like,
just
oh, I
like
failed in this moment because I let it get me. It's like,
exactly, yeah. It's just that Ouroboros. It's just like keeps eating its own ass.
fucking
Like
yeah.
it
It's like,
sucks.
let me be free of this. Can I just like be blissful? Like I don't know if it's
Yeah,
gonna
shit.
stop or like if I'll just like get over it or if I'll just like I don't know if I need to rely on Klonopin or something or like some other drug or something or if I can just like I don't know just like some way to feel okay. Maybe I just need more
Yeah,
like
I mean like
love in my
really
life and like more closeness and stuff because I feel I'm pretty
that's
isolated a lot.
honestly like a key. Yeah, I feel that too. Like I really don't like hang out with like people like on like I live in like a college dorm. I don't hang out with like people on campus really. Like there's some people that like if I run into them like I'll have like brief conversation with them or whatever, but like I don't like hang out. And like I have two girlfriends, but like one of them lives like 250 miles away and the other one lives like 700 miles away and it's like I don't get to see them more than like maybe once every 2 months or so. And like I definitely like feel that like I just like I don't have like reasons to leave like my room beyond like eating and going to class. And it's like it's bad. Like
Yeah.
just like I don't know, not having like face to face like interaction with people and like physical intimacy and stuff. It just like it's like not like healthy after a
Yeah, I
point.
think I crave that intimacy, like the physical intimacy is one part of it. Like I crave it and I feel like I get attached kind of
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, we talked about
Yeah,
this
I get
before.
like attached really easily, I think, to people and I don't know. It's just like a product of I think loneliness.
Yeah, it's really easy to get like really attached to people or like develop like really like fast and like out of nowhere like
Yeah.
infatuation for people and stuff like that like when you are sort of dealing with that isolation like just like because I know like the second any like pretty girl is like nice to me like in any situation in real life I am instantly just like oh my God like and like it sucks that it's like that it's difficult when you don't have like a specifically like what I feel like I need is like just more like trans friends in real life just to like fucking like
Yeah.
be around. Like I feel like that's a big issue for me. Like I just like I can't like hang out with like cis people who like I haven't known for a long time, and like since this is my first semester at this like university, it's like I don't know any of them, and it's like I don't know, it's like I don't want to like enter a new friendship with a cis person and like have to go through the like obligatory like process of like answering like a bunch of
Right.
uncomfortable questions about like all that shit. And yeah, I don't know, it just kind of blows. Like I just wish that like more trans kids would like come to my fucking school, I
Yeah,
guess.
I hope you can make connections with people around your area.
Doing my very best. My school's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's like a trans masculine person and a trans feminine person that I know of on campus, but they're both like we don't have a lot of common
Okay.
ground. And it's like I do enjoy like visiting the other trans girl from time to time or having dinner with her, talking about like what like PC games she's playing or something. And like that can be really nice, but like that sort of like
It sounds kind of like a
barrier.
light friendship or something.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Like getting through that layer to like real friendship is like not happening just 'cause like I don't know, like we don't
Right.
click on that level. And
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I don't
I
know.
have some friends,
Um
but it's like kind of light, and I don't know. I'm like, it's funny. I get infatuated, but I'm also like bad at connecting with people, kind of. Like I don't know. It's just, it's
it's
yeah.
like
It still feels lonely.
it's like harder to connect with people sometimes when you're like infatuated by
Yeah,
them just 'cause like you
totally.
don't know like
It
what to
definitely is
say.
true.
And you like
Yeah.
don't want to fuck up and you're like
Maybe just like getting it out
yeah,
of the way
it's
early and just like, well, I don't know.
getting it out of the way
As
as in
in
like
like
what.
letting them know how you feel.
Yeah, that's that's really the killer. Like that's the most difficult thing. It's like yeah, it's good to like nip it in the bud and like do it like
Yeah, so it doesn't
better
build
better
up into
earlier than
like
later,
this,
but it's like
I don't know.
this like
I
suffering.
guess.
But also it's like you can't really spring it on them too early because then they'll be like, "Oh, well, I don't know if like if I'm there yet with
Yeah.
that." And like I don't know. It's like humans and like interacting with humans and like social
It's
dynamics and
hard.
shit. It's I don't know. It's all
Yeah,
very
it's hard
complicated
to
and
navigate.
yeah. It is. I'm not like hogging the entire fucking stream, am I? I have no idea
Oh,
how
this
long
has
this is fucking
been
going on.
like 90 minutes or so.
Oh fuck yeah, killing it,
Yeah, I
new
think
record.
well, yeah, that might be a new record, actually.
Damn. I mean, like, I'm fine with still talking, but I don't know if like the chat's getting pissed off or anything.
Yeah, either way, I guess. Yeah, it has been a good conversation though.
Yeah, for sure. Like, hit me up anytime. You know where to
Yeah.
find me. Yeah, take it
All
easy,
right.
Narcy.
You too.